Five, four, three. Hi, everybody. DUGROZ here with DUGROZ Reports. Today is Saturday, the 17th of February, 2024, reporting live from my house. So it is a sunny day, which is why you see brightness on my face that's coming through the mini blinds. Don't worry, that'll go away relatively soon. Thank you for letting me know the microphone's on loud and clear. TH, I appreciate that. Cesar and Sam are both on board. I'm glad to see you guys. And yeah, so we're ready to roll here today. I'll get started with the content in just a few moments. Get my background lights going. There we go. All righty then. Welcome to Saturday Morning Live. Today's theme is Best Western rewards, but don't worry, you can ask me anything at all. Thank you, each one of you, for being on board this morning. I appreciate it, and welcome to those of you watching after the video publishes. We'll dive right into the DUGROZ data points of the day. First data point is sort of a milestone. I crossed over 1,500 subscribers, just barely. Late last night, I noticed the number went from 1,499 up to 1,500. So thank you for all of you who helped me reach that benchmark. I really do appreciate it. One thing that I'm noticing related to my subscriber increase, and this is minor, I've always made it a goal of mine to respond to each and every comment that is left on one of my videos and in the live stream chat. That is getting just a little harder to do. So if there's ever a question you ask on a video or the community tab and I don't get to it, please don't take it personally. There's two things going on. One is just it's a little harder now. Secondly, sometimes YouTube does this funny thing, especially on the community tab, where comments just disappear. And I have to go into like my studio moderation tool to find them. And they're really buried. Like I have to turn off all the filters and stuff. So if I don't get something, I apologize, but that is a factor. One thing you can do to help a comment rise to the top, if you're watching live, you can do a super chat where you drop me a couple bucks or maybe even just $1, and then it'll highlight it and make it much more likely to be seen. If you're watching after the fact, same thing. They call it super thanks in that case. All right, so that's that. Let's go to some pictures. Last weekend, I stayed at the Country Inn and Suites. Well, and actually, to be honest, I didn't even really stay there. My two teenage boys and I went there for the Super Bowl. Just some interesting coincidences that were going on at that time. My wife left town because she had a family member who had a surgical procedure and she went to take care of them. So with the wife out of town, I didn't really want to a Super Bowl party all by myself. So I decided, hey, I've been looking at Choice Hotels recently. Why not just check into a Choice Hotel? We went there for the evening, watched the Super Bowl on their TV. They had a hot tub. They had a pool. We did some swimming. We got out. I didn't even spend the night there. Went back the next morning and ate their breakfast because it was on the way to where I dropped them off for school. So there's the breakfast. There's more of the breakfast. This is the bed. The mattress was terrible, to be honest with you. It was really springy, like an 80s or 90s style mattress. It felt like they bought it at a mattress discounter 20 years ago for $99. So I'm glad I didn't sleep there, because if I had, the mattress would have been really lousy. Again, this is a Country Inn and Suites in West Des Moines, Iowa. It was a one king suite, so it did have like an outer area. That's where we sat to watch the Super Bowl. And more breakfast pictures. There's the swimming pool. I will give them 5 stars for the pool and hot tub. They were both warm. They were both nice. They were in good condition. Unfortunately, this is the ceiling in the bathroom. It was kind of peeling. And then on the sprinkler in the bathroom, I don't know if you can pick up on this. There was like this brown sludge on the bottom of it. It was just kind of more breakfast. They had a little desk, which was nice. You can see in the background there is a separate, like, actual door, making it a true suite, not one of those fake suites where they put a half wall between them. Whoops, getting a little out ahead of myself there. Country Inn and Suites in West Des Moines, Iowa. So, not my first time I've stayed at a choice property, but first time in a while. It was very meh. It didn't really impress me that much, to be honest with you. So I think with choice hotels, it's really going to vary. Um, 5 stars for the pool and hot tub. 1 star for the bathroom because it was like falling apart. They just need to gut the whole bathroom and start over. Uh, 3 or 4 stars for the room itself. 2 stars for the mattress. I left them a 3-star review on Google. The good news is it was only $99. So oh, that's hard to see. $99.94. So I paid for it with my Aeroplan card. I'm going to use the Aeroplan back. So it's like 6,300 points, something like that. Really not much different than what you would pay for with a like category 1 Hyatt, because, with the transfer bonuses, transferred my Chase points over. It probably only was around 5,000 points. Let me check the chat here. Sam asked if my background lights are Philips Hue. Yes, they are. Good guess. Jacob's Points and Profits says hello. Sam says the mattress was probably from Walmart. Felt like it, although it said Serta on it. TH said they should have watched your mattress review videos before they put that mattress in the hotel. I agree. They might get a review, and I'll come back to that in a little bit. Phil Mo's here. Good morning. He's a DUGROZ diehard. So I'll take this opportunity to mention that if you want super detailed, nerdy, in-depth videos about points and miles, please join my channel as a diehard. It's the only channel membership. It's $3 a month, and you can cancel anytime. There's no commitment. You don't have to commit for a year or 6 months. You can do a month, and if you don't like it, you can bail out. Let's talk about the results of last week's poll. So last week I asked about 3 different options, and I want to comment on 2 of the 3. One of them was a dedicated video about choice hotels. Speaking of choice hotels, I am working on that at present. That's going to be my masterpiece so far this year. It's the video I've probably spent the most time like actually doing full editing, proper lights and camera work and stuff. Trying to be a real serious YouTuber. So I'm hoping that one picks up some steam when I release it. Should be coming in, I don't know, 8 to 10 days probably. And then I did a option for hotel plus cash back strategy. And I did release this as a frugal points video, a philosophy video where I drive in my car, not fleshed out at all. It was like 4 a.m. when I recorded that. But that's something that I'm kind of thinking about doing over the next year, is transitioning my strategy away from transferable currencies like Citi, Capital One, Amex, Chase, to a combination of hotel cards and cash back. I'm not going to cancel all of my transferable currency cards. I'll still have them, and I have enough built up to get me through this entire year for airfare and some lodging. But just maybe do the experiment with cash back. I know Luke from Luke's Points and Miles did an experiment where he went to all cash back and it failed miserably. A lot of people said in that video they think it suits my style of travel well. I'm an intermittent traveler, maybe 3 to 5 times a year, mix in a road trip or 2 on top of that. So 5 to 7 trips. Usually only one of them is a great big family vacation. The rest are either just weekend getaways or rip trips, something like that. Sam says Walmart owns a chain of stores in the UK called Asda. I think you mentioned that before. Maybe next time I get back to the UK, I'll check it out. The American Express Platinum Business Card. My annual fee just hit on that. And last week I was talking about how I might use the sledge strategy that he introduced recently, where you downgrade partway through your membership year, preferably in like early December, so that you can take advantage of all the credits and then January rolls around, you take advantage of all the credits again, and then you maybe I explained that wrong. Downgrade to a business green now, upgrade back to the platinum in December, use those credits. In January, use more credits, upgrade, or excuse me, downgrade back to the business green. And I calculated it would be like $147 in annual fees, and I could get like $375 worth of credit. So I have 30 days to decide if I'm going to do that or not. Honestly, I'm leaning towards not doing it just because it's a lot of hassle. It doesn't really fit my travel style. But then again, I do get some credits, but I don't know. It keeps the option open in the future if I want to use the business platinum for booking domestic flights through Amex portal and getting 35% of my points back, which equates to about 1.53 cents per point. But having to pay an annual fee and go through all that rigmarole for that. Right now, I have the Wells Fargo grandfathered card, the Visa Signature, which gets me 1.5 in the portal with no annual fee, and I've got like 150,000 Wells Fargo points. Plus, we're waiting to see what their transfer partners are. So right now, I don't need that. It would just be if I want to keep that option alive for future reference. So let me know if you have an opinion, if I should do the downgrade upgrade trick on the Business Platinum or not. It doesn't really suit my style of travel. Honestly, I got the Business Platinum just for the sign-up bonus. Next data point, the U.S. Bank Altitude Reserve. I will just briefly mention, the thing about they didn't post points correctly for my card and the card of others for like most of January. All I can say is as of right now, there's no resolution, there's no change. I have been earning 3x since somewhere around about January 29th. So they fixed it for transactions moving forward, but have not yet fixed it on the retroactive part. There was about a month where I only got 1x and I should have got 3x. So I'll keep you posted and let you know what comes about of that. We've got 12 people on board right now. If you're watching live, please click the thumbs up button. I would appreciate it. Now, we have a poll for today. I mentioned last week's poll, and the poll question today, it's up at the top of the chat. If you're live, you can vote on that. We've had 14 votes so far. So apparently 2 people came in, voted, then left. What additional content would you like to see me cover over the next few months? Focus on covering over the next few months. One option is reviewing mattresses in hotels. So if you don't know, I have a whole separate channel here on YouTube called DUGROZ, not DUGROZ Reports, just DUGROZ, that actually predates this channel by 7 or so years. I might start when I went to the Country Inn last weekend. I did record myself on the mattress. It's a pretty low quality video, but I'm trying to think, can I combine my love of travel with my past history of reviewing mattresses? I wouldn't put it on this channel. I would put it on the DUGROZ channel, but every time I go to a hotel, just do a brief review of the mattress and put it on there. How might that go? The second option I listed was hotel cards plus cashback strategy, which is the same as what I mentioned earlier. Just should I focus on a whole new strategy for the next 6 months or so, which is mainly using hotel cards in conjunction with cashback. And then the third option is a point valuation cent per point deep dives, where I had mentioned before an idea about having a round table or a council of advisors where I get 5 or 6 other YouTubers that I know well to kind of say, here's what I think cents per point are worth on Choice. Here's what I think it's worth on Citi. Here's what I think it's worth on Capital One. Here's what I think it's worth on IHG or Hilton. And then kind of average those out, play the referee, and just, I've been toying around with that. I just haven't got around to it. Doing that kind of stuff, like the definitive guide to what points are really worth, not just for people who are casual, like people who don't pay attention, but like dedicated points and miles people. The results of the poll thus far: reviewing mattresses in hotels is not very popular, only 6%. A hotel card and cashback strategy video that is dedicated, 69%, and then point valuation deep dives, 25%. So if you haven't taken the poll yet, go ahead and take the time to take the poll if you're watching live, and I will give the final results at the end of today's live stream. All right. Well, let's go ahead and dive into the theme of the day. And the theme of the day is Best Western Rewards. So, for whatever reason, Best Western Rewards is probably the most neglected rewards program in the points and miles community. There's very little content out there, and of the content it's out there, almost none of it is from the big time content creators. There's one video from Ask Sebi like 5 years ago, but it's about like how to get your status matched to Best Western. It's not about the program itself or what you would find valued in it. So there are some other creators like me that are a little smaller in the 1500, 2000 range who have covered it. So I guess I'll dip my toes in the waters and give my best effort here. I will give a disclaimer. This is a moderately surface level look at Best Western's reward program. This is not a deep dive. This is just kind of introducing the topic. And I should say it's not a deep dive in the sense of I don't have experience with it. I've only booked one Best Western since I got into points and miles, and that was for my sister when she came to town for a stay. She actually really liked the hotel. It was a Best Western Premier, I think is what they call it, or no, Best Western Plus, which is maybe like a slightly better level of Best Western. Um, and I went over to pick her up, and it was very clean. She showed me the room. It was nice. Good breakfast. It had like a lobby and a workout room. I'd put it on the same level as like a nice Hyatt Place or a nice Hampton Inn, something like that. John says, "I'm here." Hi, John. How you doing? Um, Secondly, some of the info that I'm going to go over today came from a video and mainly the comment section of a video by another smaller creator like myself named Lalit Devraj. And I'm not familiar with Lalit. We've never met or corresponded other than a couple things in his comment section. I did put a link in the description box of this video. So, um, giving credit where credit's due, please check out his video because some of the information I got from his video. All right, sharing my screen, and we'll start with this. In order to get a feel for Best Western's program, first we have to know what the points are worth. If we don't, then you don't really have anything to go on. Jacob, I see your question or comment. I'll get back to it in just a few moments because it ties in with something I'm going to say. I'm going to give 4 examples of domestic properties that were chosen not at random, but these are all places either I've been, not the hotel, but the city, or places that I want to go or that caught my attention for some other reason. First example is the Copperleaf Boutique Hotel, which is part of the BW Premier collection. The BW Premier collection appears to be something kind of like the small hotels and luxury resorts of the world that Hyatt had until recently, where it's sort of like an independent hotel that just joined up as part of BW's rewards program. It's in the town of Appleton, Wisconsin. It's centrally located there. Most of the Appleton's like a town of 100,000. It's close to Green Bay, so a lot of people go to Green Bay Packers games, stay there instead of Green Bay, which is why they have so many hotels. It wouldn't surprise me if it's the most hotels per capita in the Midwest in Appleton and Green Bay. um, it's right in the downtown part of Appleton, whereas most of the hotels are around the perimeter of the town, kind of your standard interstate hotels. So I looked up April 12th through 13th and spotted a one king fireplace room. So some of the rooms have fireplaces. This is actually something of an upgrade. And that's something I noticed about Best Westerns is similar to Choice. A lot of times the points price is the same regardless of which room type you get up to a certain level. Now, some of the very luxurious ones just aren't even available on points, but like the difference between a one king and a one king fireplace might be $10 or $20, but the points price is exactly the same. Same thing, like usually with most hotels, a one king room is maybe $10 cheaper than a two queen room, but the points price is the same. So basically, in our examples, I picked the best room that you can get without the points price going up. Now, sometimes there'll be like a very luxurious room where the points are more. But again, at the base level of points, the king fireplace was the best room you can get. This came in at 4.4 stars on Google reviews. I don't remember why I ran across this hotel. I saw it on like just a random YouTube video or something talking about how it was being renovated and how nice it was. It came out to $206 for the cash price and 28,000 points, and that comes out to 0.74 cents per point. So we'll tuck that away. First example, 0.74. Sam says the stream has gone laggy. I'm aware of that. I spent like 2 hours last night trying to fix the lag using different configurations on my docking station, unplugging certain things. It's just my computer. I just don't think it can handle sharing the screen. It's a Chromebook with 8 megs of memory. So if you want to throw a super chat my way, anyone, I think I've got like $6 in my laptop fund from previous super chats. I will someday get either a Apple computer or a nice Windows computer. Filmo says, I've stayed at quite a few Best Westerns when all the kids lived at home. Decent rewards program, at least 10 or 12 years ago it was. Icarus says, Best Western, more like worst Western. Yeah, I will admit that you have, just like choice, you have to be selective. Check the Google reviews. I only looked at ones that were 4 stars or higher on Google reviews. There were several that were down in the 3s, some that were like, there was too many 1-star reviews for my taste. I always look at Google reviews, and if it doesn't average 4 stars, I'm probably not going to stay there. Welcome aboard, Icarus. Next example is the BW Plus Holiday Sands. Best Western Plus is supposed to be like a notch above the lowest level, which is just called Best Western. This is a beachfront property in Norfolk, Virginia. Now, I know I just said 4 stars or higher, but it was like last night I was tired of looking for examples, so I just rolled with it. 3.9 is close enough. This little bump up in the 1 stars does concern me just a bit. This is probably not going to impress anyone. I mean, if you look at the picture here, it's your old style of hotel that I'm used to as a road tripping kid of the 80s and 90s, where, you know, you just pull right up and you can see this gentleman or lady backed in and just unload directly into the room, which actually my father-in-law, who traveled a lot when my wife was a kid, they were missionaries, so they would go from church to church around the United States, and he always liked to back the van up and have a room on the first floor where you could just take 6 steps and go directly into the hotel. Although my understanding is the difference between a hotel and a motel is this: if the entrances to the room go directly outside, it's a motel. If you go in through the lobby or an end door and there's a central hallway to access the rooms, that's a hotel. But if I'm wrong, please let me know. You'll see the room there, pretty basic, you know, looks like kind of a home to suites by Hilton. It's not going to win any award. It's a place to sleep. This example was from July 12th and 13th. I got the 1 king suite, and it was $325 or 40,000 points. Let's be honest. The only reason it's $325 is because it's right on the beach in Virginia, and it's in the summer. That comes to 0.81 cents per point. So we're in that 0.7, 0.8 range. Icarus mentions bed bugs, cockroaches, dirty. So apparently Icarus is not a fan of Best Western. I'm sorry, this picture is out of order, or maybe it's in order. I don't know. Last April, I went to the Panhandle of Florida and the Gulf Shores of Alabama. This picture is taken on the east side of Mobile Bay. Not like Mobile is kind of on the north and west side, so this would be looking towards Mobile at a place called Mullet Point Park. I went there at sunset. There was a random other guy there throwing discs around like disc golf, and he had a camera and was recording himself. So I said, "Hey, are you a YouTuber?" "Yeah, I am." "Oh, hey, I am too. My name is," it was Bear Bite Disc or something like that. Big dude. You can look him up if you're interested in disc golf. And I said, "Hey, do you mind taking my picture since it's sunset?" And he volunteered to take it. Honestly, this is the most beautiful sunset I ever remember witnessing in my adult life. So if you ever go to Mobile Bay, go around to the east side of the bay, facing west at sunset during like April, May. That brings me to my next example, which is the Best Western Plus in Daphne, Alabama. This is located on the east side of Mobile Bay, also in the town of Daphne. It's 30 minutes north of where I stayed and got that picture. I didn't stay there. I stayed in a town called Foley, which was south of there, closer to the ocean, closer to Gulf Shores. But like I said, I'm basing all of these on places I've either been or want to go. The first one, Appleton, Wisconsin, I want to go to. Second one, Virginia Beach. I've been there, went there, I think 2 years ago in the spring, went to the Norfolk Botanical Gardens. This one, Mobile Bay, I went there last April. Look at the exterior here. This is like your most generic, decent American hotel. Just your typical 3-story roadside hotel. Room looks pretty basic. It looks like kind of a Hyatt Place to me, where it's got the sofa. Like, this is one of the suites that's not really a suite. It's just got the half wall or the quarter wall that sticks out. It does have your traditional American South outdoor swimming pool, and it rates 4.3 stars. Between August 5th and 6th, you can choose the 2-queen suite. I did say flexible rate. All of these examples I've used are the flexible rate, where you can cancel up to like 2 days before, 3 days before. When I travel, I always do the flexible rate. I never do the non-refundable rate. So that's what these are all based on. $159 if you pay cash, 24,000 points, and that comes out to 0.66 cents per point. So we've lowered that average just a little. Hey, Filmo78 has dropped me a super chat of $5.24 for the computer fund in honor of me falling below 524 in a few more weeks. Well, hey, that gets a thank you from me, Filmo. I really appreciate it. You are one of my most dedicated diehards, and that means a lot to me. Thank you so much. John says, I love Gulf Shores. I went there every summer as a kid, very familiar with that area. Awesome. Do you know where Mullet Point Park is? Cool. All right. Our fourth and final example is the Best Western in Troy. This is just a regular Best Western. There's no like plus, there's no Premier. It's just Best Western. So this is their theoretically lowest, most basic entry level. Again, you're looking at just kind of your standard 3-story run-of-the-mill American roadside hotel. Look at that room. It looks fine, but it's about as generic as it gets. 2 queen beds. You got 4 stars. This is just off the interstate in Troy, Illinois. This is just east of St. Louis. If you know where Alton, Illinois, East St. Louis is, just go a little further east and slightly north. It's just, one of those towns that's sort of a random exit off the interstate. It's 21 minutes away from the Gateway Arch by car. So if you want to go visit the Arch and you're willing to stay a little bit out of town to save some money or points, looks like a place you can stay. Between October 23rd and 24th, it would be $115 if you paid cash. And yes, I did include taxes in all of these. 16,000 points. That comes out to 0.72 cents per point. So those are the 4 examples I chose. And if you average those 4, it's 0.73 cents per point. So for the sake of our examples and our calculations, we are going to use somewhere around 0.7, 0.75 cents per point, something like that. Filmo said, I used to have a mullet in 1986. Does that count? It sure does. All right, so we've got just a little more content here on the main topic, I guess you'd call it. There might be what do you call it? I can't think of the terminology I'm trying to use here. Every time I do a video, when I get to right around about the 35 to 45-minute mark, it tries to push an advertisement on us. There is an option where I can force the advertisement, so I have control over when it comes, supposedly, but I still have some people saying they see the advertisement and some people saying they don't see the advertisement. So if I can get that to work, we're going to take a little intermission here. But before the intermission, let's just get an introduction going to the Best Western program itself and what you get from it. And we'll pull up their website, which itself to be an award-winning hotel rewards program. I don't know whose rewards, who gave them the award. Right now, there's a stay two night, get a free night program going on. But that's not that important. This is kind of boring. Let's talk about going all the way down here, all the way down. Okay, what you actually get from their rewards program. So you automatically get 10 points per dollar spent on Best Westerns. Now, we just said it's somewhere around 0.75. So just by signing up for the rewards program, if you pay cash and stay at a Best Western, you're going to get the equivalent of about 7.5% cash back in rewards just by paying in cash. Points never expire. That's good. There's no blackout dates. A lot of boring stuff here that we don't care about. Interestingly, free night redemptions do count towards elite status, which is good to know. Just FYI, there are no transferable currencies that transfer to Best Western. Early check-in and late check-out. Well, that's available on the platinum level or higher. And if you sign up for the Best Western Rewards credit card, which we will come back, you will see that you automatically get the platinum level, that middle tier. So with that in mind, it would be available. But if you follow that little 4, it's going to say subject to availability. Now, for both free upgrades and early check-in and late checkout, it says subject to availability. So my question is, how often do they honor that? I have no experience, so I don't know what to go on. I had mentioned earlier the video by Lalit Devraj, and I asked him in the comment section how often that's honored. And what he said was he had stayed at several Best Westerns, both abroad and in the United States. Internationally, outside the US and Canada, they do generally proactively offer you those things like late checkout, early check-in, upgrades to a better room type. But something to bear in mind is that most Best Westerns are pretty much just your standard roadside hotel, even if they're very nice, very clean, very quiet. So like if you get upgraded, there might only be 3 room types. There's like your standard king, your standard 2 queen, and the suite. And the suite's just like, it's got that half wall and then like a bigger sitting area with a sofa bed. So you might get upgraded from just a king to the king suite, but the difference in price is only like $10. So don't get too excited about the upgrades. The second thing he said is in the United States, domestically, you aren't going to have it proactively offered very often. It's sort of like they don't really train their employees to recognize status. So you have to say, I'm a platinum member. May I please have a late checkout? He said, now, most of the time they will, oh yeah, let me, and then they figure it out and they give you a late checkout, but you have to proactively ask on that. Allie is here. Hi, Allie. Best Western in Ritzville, Washington has the best homemade hollandaise sauce. That's good to know. David Hamilton's on board. A big-time diehard said they will match your Wyndham status for a year. You read my mind, David. I'm coming back to that. And I think Jacob mentioned that earlier. Just continuing on with this. Member rates, don't know anything about that at all. I think someone said in a comment, if you're a member, you might get like 5 to 7% less than the non-member rate. But I mean, what hotel doesn't have that? Of course, you can pay with points. Every status level except the base level gets complimentary water on arrival. And it says something like, in the United States, the water is always provided. Outside the United States, it may or may not be. and you get 500 bonus points upon arrival. And weirdly, if you follow this, it says something like, the bonus points are usually available, but they may not be. Like, does the hotel have a drawer filled with points, and if they run out, they can't give them to you? So to qualify at the from base to gold, you have to stay 5 nights. To go to what do they call it, platinum, you have to stay 7. Diamond, you have to stay 15, and Diamond Select, you have to stay 25. But as both Jacob and David have hinted, there are ways to get around that. So we're going to focus on a couple ways to get around that, and it ties in with both their credit card and status matches. And we'll come back to that in just a second. But we're going to have our first commercial in just a moment, and we'll all take our intermission bathroom break. Hang in there for about 60 to 90 seconds. I'll be right back. Thanks for watching. Okay, let me know if you saw a commercial or not. That would be a little bit interesting. All right, we're going to continue with our content now. And let's see, in what order do I want to go? I think I'll talk about the credit cards next. So, in addition to sorry, I have to choose from my tabs here. You know, I can just share the entire screen. That way I don't have to worry about which. Okay. So in addition to earning points from actually staying and paying cash, which unless you're running a cash back strategy, you don't want to do. Sam did see a crap advertising video. Thank you, Sam. You can get a Best Western rewards card. This card is issued by First National Bank of Omaha. And that's a bank I don't have a lot of familiarity with. I did have a home equity line of credit with them like 15 years ago. Not even on the current home, a different home, but don't know anything about the bank. But hey, that's who issues it, and it's a MasterCard. There are 2 different cards. So the blue card is the low-level card with no annual fee. Sign-up bonus is 40,000 points on $1,000 of spend. And on an ongoing basis, you get 20,000 points a year if you spend $5,000. That seems like actually for no annual fee bad. Now, if you're wondering about the earnings potential, you're probably going to be kind of disappointed. It says it earns 13 points per dollar spent, but remember, as the fine print says, just by being a member, you get 10 points per dollar at Best Western. So really, it's only giving you 3 points for spending on the MasterCard and 2 points per dollar on all other purchases. That's it. You get automatic gold status, which is one notch above entry level. So this card is okay, but it's not that compelling. In my opinion, a better option is to go with the Best Western Premium MasterCard, which is the black card. This one has a sign-up bonus worth 80,000 points when you spend $3,000 and 40,000 points every year when you spend 5,000 points. Now, you might be wondering what I'm wondering. In the first year, if you spend $3,000 and lock in your 80,000 points, do you only have to spend another 2,000 to get this one, or do you have to spend an additional 5,000? Well, I don't have any personal data points, but again, Lalit's video said that he asked a Best Western representative and they told him that it's inclusive. So in your first year, if you just spend $5,000, you would get the 80,000 and the 40,000 for a total of 120,000 points. Now that's really not too bad. So let's just use a calculator here, type in 120,000 points, and then we're going to type in our cents per point on the examples we came up with of 0.0073 or 73 100ths of a penny per point. And that comes out to $876. So you're getting 807. Too much of a glare. Sorry. Just trust me. $876. $876 of value for a $89 annual fee in the first year. If you think you're going to be using that at all, that really makes sense. Now we're seeing stays anywhere from 16,000 points. I'll round that to 20,000. Up through 40,000 points. So on the low end, that's going to get you probably about 6 nights. I think that's how the math works out. 6 times 20,000. Yes. 6 nights on the low end. They say up to 7, but of course they're talking about your 16,000 point low end hotels, probably in the middle of February. Realistically, probably more like 6 stays on the low end. On the high end, like the Virginia Beach one we saw, 40,000 points, you'll get 3 stays out of that in your first year. This one earns, it says 20 points, but they're doing the same marketing gimmick that Hyatt does. Everybody gets 10 points, so you're really only getting an extra 10, which gets you 20 points per dollar. Something that I'm not really sure of is that it says, sorry, where was I? This card confers platinum status. And it says here that with platinum status, you get an extra 15% on your bonus points. So do you get the 15 on top of the 20, or is it already baked in? I really don't know the answer to that question. So you might be getting, you might be getting a little more than that. I just don't know. Again, 2 points per dollar on every purchase. Supposedly exclusive rates, but we don't really know what they're worth. And the automatic platinum status. So just by holding this card, you're getting these things here, most of which don't really matter that much, but that would unlock you the early check-in and late checkout type thing that you have to remind them of. You're going to get your 500 bonus points unless they run out of their bucket of points. You're going to get complimentary water in the United States, at least. Oh, here at the bottom it says, points may not be available at all international locations. Complimentary water based on location may be bottled or filtered. It'd be kind of funny if they said, oh, we're going to get you your free water, and they reach into the refrigerator, pull out a Brita water filter pitcher and just pour it in a plastic cup for you and hand it to you. There's your free water. Like literally, I could just do that in my room. Thank you. So it's not necessarily like a super high tier program. Let's just, let's accept that part right up front. All right, but wait, there's more. And a couple people have hinted at this already. Best Western does offer what they call a status match no catch. And basically, what that means is you can sign up for the Best Western program, send them an email, and right here on their main page, it has the email listed. And you just send them like your name, address, phone number, your rewards number with Best Western, and then proof of your status in another program. And they will match that status automatically. So, what are those status levels? Well, let's out. Got to switch screens here. Stan the credit fart. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to call you a credit fart. Stan the credit frog says, not sure if you've done that yet, but closing all tabs in your browser can help with the lag in low memory machine. Yep, I've tried literally everything, restarts and all of it. Just it's the best I can do right now, unless I go to using my phone. But if I use my phone, I can't do all this cool sharing of internet tabs and that kind of stuff. Perhaps try defragging the computer. Look, it's a Chromebook. Let's just call it what it is. All right, so I'm going to share, and this is also something I found in Lalit's video. I don't know where he got the information from, to be honest with you. So I got to downsize this so we can see what we're supposed to be seeing here as much as possible. So here's the statuses they will match. If you have, and I don't know how old this is, but if you have Hilton Diamond, they'll match you to their Diamond Select, which is the top level. If you have Hilton Gold, they'll match you to Diamond. If you have Marriott Gold, they'll match you to Diamond Select, which is the top level. If you have Marriott Platinum, they'll match you to Diamond Select, which is their top level. This is just showing you get the same thing for the Platinum card. If you have IHG Platinum status, which comes with IHG's $99 year annual fee card, you get Diamond Select, which is their best level. Same thing with the Marriott Bonvoy Bountiful card. You would go up to your highest level. So just by holding another credit card, you get the highest level. Just yesterday morning, Friday morning, I signed up for a Best Western free account around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I emailed them. They emailed me back and said, your screenshot's not good enough. It's got to show your full name. I emailed them again. At about 8:30 last night, they sent me an email and said, congratulations, you are now Diamond Select. So what do you know? I am a Diamond Select member. So without ever having stayed at a Best Western, at least that I remember in my adult life, I definitely haven't since 2019. I have already jumped all the way up to their highest tier of status. So yeah, going back to what we know about their loyalty program, I'm already there. 50% more. Again, I don't know if that's baked into their credit card levels or not, so I'd have to try it to find out. I should be getting early check-in, late checkout. I should be able to ask for free upgrades. Whether or not they're honored, I don't know. I should get my water and my 500 points out of the points bucket, doggone it. So yeah, I've got all the stuff. I am top tier. I have earned the best status without actually earning it, just by doing a status match from my IHG card issued by Chase. That's pretty cool. So as I think these things through, is it worth going after Best Western? Well, there's a couple thoughts that I have. Thought number one is they are what they are. Now, there are some boutique hotels like that Copperleaf that I saw in Wisconsin, Appleton. That looked pretty neat. It's still not going to be, the Crockfords or something, the Waldorf Astoria, but they do have a few boutique hotels around. I saw another one in another city that was kind of a small boutique type hotel, rated very well. I don't remember which city it was. So they do have a few of those. But for the most part, you're going to be getting just your standard roadside hotel. You got a king bed or 2 queen beds. Check Google reviews. We saw that Icarus doesn't really like it. Cesar said he matched Hilton Diamond to Choice Platinum a month ago and got that. So that's a good idea also. What kind of travel do you want to do? So for what I do on like my weekend 4-day week rip trips, those kind of things where I either drive or fly into a city. And usually, like the first night and the last night, I just need a place to stay. I'm not staying any place fancy. I'd be totally fine with staying in a Best Western Plus, like the one we saw in Troy, Illinois, or Daphne, Alabama. I think that would be great for me. So that's the first thing I wanted to mention and think through. Secondly, I've only looked at domestic hotels so far. I have read a very small handful, maybe 3 or 4 comments online of people saying uh, in some overseas countries, they really treat you well. And then other people don't have that experience. So I think it's a hotel to hotel thing. So make sure you're checking your Google reviews or your Travelocity reviews, your hotels.com reviews, whatever. Um, David Hamilton says, with Diamond Select, I got an upgrade to a corner room on a top floor and a welcome gift of soda and my choice of chips. Well, chips, that $1.50 bag of Doritos. Hey, there you go. I say that jokingly, but like when I stayed at a Holiday Inn in early January and the lady at the front desk was like, "Oh, since you're a whatever member I am, platinum, I think, member, you can go around the corner to the cooler and take a free bottle of water for everyone in my party." It does make you feel like a big time baller. Like, the guy standing in line behind me, I'm like, hear that? Platinum member? We're going to go take 3 bottles of water. That's right. um, so yeah, I've only looked at domestic. I just don't have any experience with international. Let's think about that credit card a little more. So their top tier credit card, the top tier, there's only 2 tiers, $89 a year black card. What I really like is what you get every year. So every year, including your first year, and it's based on billing cycles. So it's a card member year, not a calendar year. You spend $5,000, you get 40,000 points. So let's just do the math. So we've got 40,000 points plus, excuse me, you get 2 points per dollar on every purchase. And this can be there's no category. It's just 2 points per dollar on everything. So in order to put $5,000 of spending on your card, you're going to earn 10,000 points the normal way. Plus they're going to give you the 40,000 bonus points. That's 50,000 points. So 50,000 points, grab your calculator, boys and girls, and do 0.0073 to determine what that's worth. And that is worth $365 of value or cashback equivalent. So name for me another credit card where for an $89-ish, $100-ish annual fee, you're going to get $365 of value by spending $5,000 on a everything else category. Now I realize if it's like, 5x on office supply stores, you might do better, but just on your everything else spending, that's the equivalent of 7.3 percent cash back, or 7.3 there are some, don't get me wrong, there are some cards out there where you can get that kind of value, but there's not a lot. So I think if you're a road warrior, something like that, it's definitely worth doing. And as I think that through a little bit more, I thought to myself, you can bang that out pretty easily. If you have to make a tax payment or you're paying for new shingles on your roof or something, why not sign up for the card? First year, drop $5,000 on it, and you're going to get 120,000 points. Every year after that, you're going to get 40 from the bonus plus your 50 from the spend. Yeah, I just think if you are a road warrior whatsoever, or you're someone like me that's going to fly into some small market airport like I'm blanking now, Panama City Beach or Pensacola or Charleston, West Virginia. Never been there, but I'd like to go sometime. Or where am I going in the spring? Charlottesville, Virginia. This is a great choice for your first night or your last night before you fly out. I just think it's generally worth doing. And there's one other thought I had on that, but it flew away. Oh, hey, look, John has subscribed to the channel. John is now a DUGROZ Diehard. Thank you so much, John. I really appreciate it. John says that's how DUGROZ rolls, ballin'. That's right. I ball out with my free bottles of water. David Hamilton, also a diehard, said the Choice Hotel at Potomac Mills in Virginia was really nice and the staff was awesome. Yeah, okay, good to note. Choice moving up in the ranks for me. Best Western moving up in the ranks for me. Will I get their credit card? Probably. Before the end of the year, I think I probably will. I might time it out because a lot of my annual fees hit right about now. So I might wait until more like um, the school year starts, like in late August or early September, so that's my billing cycle. Um, Filmo, who is now been recognized as a member for 3 full months, says, "Welcome to the diehards, John." I agree with that. Well, I guess that other thought about their credit card kind of flew away from my brain. I was going to say something about like spending and comparing it to other things. Oh, so like, yeah, I said a 7.3% return on spend. So, like, with a couple of the Hilton cards, you can get an extra free night certificate um, for spending $15,000 in a year. Well, let's see. The question is, $15,000 times 7.3% is a little over $1,000. So to have the same amount of value pro rata, I realize 5,000 is only a third of 15,000, but to have the same prorated value, you would have to use your Hilton free night certificate at a hotel that would normally cost at least $1,000 at the cash price. I'm going to go out on a limb and kind of take a guess that most people are not using their Hilton free night certificates for a one night stay that costs over $1,000. Some people are. Don't get me wrong. If you're Sean Lane or someone like that, you probably are. I think in that $300 to $400 range is pretty good value. So I don't really see any problem with using this Best Western card. So that's the theme of the day. We are now done with Best Western. That's all of the Best Western content that I have. John says 7.3% is not shabby, and I agree with you, John. So uh, let's see here. I need to get over to the community tab, so I'll do that real quick here. Again, this will probably cause the computer to lag just a little bit, and I apologize for that. We're going to build up the computer fund. So I had two goals related to my subscriptions and my earnings on YouTube. My first goal was when I get to 15 channel members, DUGROZ Diehards, I was going to become a member of RJ's channel, RJ Financial, who also does Run on the Bank, because he does a lot of sharing, like sign up bonus links, those kind of things for bank account bonuses. And I'm like, hey, I'm all about bank account bonuses. Actually, that's one thing I was going to mention, time permitting. Let me write that down. Bank account bonuses. But I got to get to the community tab first. I haven't done that yet, but it's on my to-do list on my iPhone task list to sign up as a member of RJ's channel. And then the next thing I was going to do is use my YouTube earnings to buy a new computer. So, how much does a good computer for streaming, like not top of the line, but maybe middle of the line cost? Probably, I don't know, $750, something like that. Does that sound about right? And right now, I'm making about $150 a month. So I've got to wait for about 5 months to get a new computer, depending on how my super chats and super thanks go. I am $5.24 further ahead, thanks to Filmo. John got me a few dollars further ahead. Well, actually, YouTube does take a little cut of that. So I don't get all of the money. I think on memberships, YouTube decides that they deserve 40% of that. So for every $3 of membership, they take $1.20, and I get to keep $1.80. John says I use bank account bonuses to pay for annual fees. Me too, John. Me two. So the community tab is running really slow and taking a long time to come up. It actually says page is unresponsive. Do you want to wait? So I'll go over a few of my time permitting things. Um, I mentioned bank account bonuses. So I currently have a bank account bonus going with Northwestern Federal Credit Union. And that is a credit union based in Virginia. And it is one that RJ turned me on to. Let's see, I have to make $500 in direct deposits or more every month for 3 months in a row. And I did it in January. I did it in February. I don't remember if I got one in before the end of December or not. But that's a $400 cashback bonus. I think I had to make a $10 donation to like the Appalachian Trail Foundation or something in order to qualify for a membership. So $390, not too shabby. And then I just signed up for the current Citi checking account bonus, which I think is you have to make at least 2 direct deposits, and the direct deposits all put together have to total $1,500. So I'm putting some of my payroll in there right now and my YouTube earnings. So it should take me about 2 months to get there. That's $300, I believe, or it might be $250. I don't remember. So that's a bank account bonus that I'm working on. And then there's another one, another credit union that RJ's run on the bank channel showed me that I don't remember the name of it. It's $175 and it's really easy. It's like 2 direct deposits in 12 weeks or something like that. Philmo says bank account bonuses paid for my Florida trip in May. Love them. Yeah, I agree with that. So I use the bank account bonuses to fund, like when I go on RIP trips, my meals. If I take a tour of a lighthouse or something, it's $50. That's how I pay for it. Those kind of things. All right, I've got the tab is still loading. Citi Premier card. So the Citi Premier card, I was debating keep versus cancel, and I might make a dedicated video for the retention offer. Let me know if you want me to. I did call Citibank and accomplished 2 things on the same call. One is when I signed up for my custom cash, they gave me a whole new thank you account instead of the existing one, which is my understanding that's how they do it. And I had to ask them to merge the accounts, which I did. So I now have one pool of thank you points, which means when I transfer out or spend thank you points, I'll get 10% rebate because I have the Rewards Plus card from them as well. And then later in that call, I asked for a retention offer. I had to really almost threaten to cancel before they actually gave me the offer. The first lady said, "I'm sorry, there's no offers available." And I said, "Okay, how long do I have to decide and still get my $95 back?" And she said, "Well, are you planning to cancel the card?" And I said, "Well, I'm strongly considering it." "Oh, let me transfer you to the retention area." And then with the retention area, they asked me again, like, "Are you actually considering cancellation?" I said, "Yeah, I'm considering it." I mean, and that's true. I wasn't planning on that at the moment, but I was considering it. And they gave me the most convoluted retention offer ever. In fact, I need to email or message them and say, "Can I please get that offer in writing?" But what she told me, based on my understanding, and it wasn't a good connection, and no judgment zone, but for better or worse, English was not her first language, and we had a little bit of a communication barrier. I think what she said is I have to spend $1,000 every month for the next 3 months, and they will give me $95 statement credit, which cancels out the annual fee, and 1,000 thank you points. 1,000 thank you points feels a little weird, $10 or so in value, but hey, $95 statement credit, it basically gets me the Citi Premier without an annual fee. So, and then I asked, is it calendar month or is it a rolling month? And she did some typety type and said, it appears to be a 30-day rolling period. It's like, well, I need to know for sure. So, and she said, yes, it's a rolling 30 days. So I have to spend $1,000 the next 30 days, $1,000 in the next 30 days, $1,000 in the next 30 days to get. We finally got the community tab loaded, so we'll come back to that. Oop, hope I didn't click the wrong button there. If I did, I apologize. So every Friday, I post a community tab with a picture and you can ask me anything. Sometimes these questions disappear. So if you're watching live and you asked a question and I don't get to it, please put it in the comment section. So here's the picture. It's like a cave type thing with a mowed lawn. You can see some trees above it. And I'm asking you to guess the location. I did take this picture. I have been there in person. So the first question is from LH. Finances. What are your thoughts on the all-inclusive Iberostar brand under IHG for an aspirational trip? I totally agree with your assessment of the Maldives being used as the standard. I had a rant a couple weeks ago that I said, can we all just agree in the points and miles community? Please stop using all-purpose generic example to prove how valuable points or free night certificates are. Most of us are either never going to go there or going to go there once in our whole life. I'm fine with using Spain and Iberostar and France and England and Thailand and Japan as examples. Super expensive to get to, even if you do use points. And if you're going there, nothing against you. I'd love to go someday. I just don't think it should be the standard example. As for Iberostar, I'm so sorry, LH. I told you last night I did look into it. I didn't look into it at all, so I have no idea. I like the idea of using one and going to like the Majorcas or something like that, but I just don't know if it'll happen. As for the photo guess, he said, my guess is a cave somewhere in Missouri. He's really close, but not quite spot on. Don't want to give it away. TH was on board earlier. TH says, what is the best choice hotel you've stayed at so far during your visit to Sweden? What's so special about choice hotels in Scandinavia people often rave about, you think? Well, that's a great question, TH, and I would strongly encourage you to look in my videos late summer, early fall. I made a dedicated video. It was really an unpopular video because I guess I didn't have a very good title and thumbnail. It's called something like Epic Value Choice Hotels Scandinavia or Nordic Choice Epic Value, something like that. So for whatever reason, so back up here. Okay. There is a whole separate chain of hotels that used to be called Nordic Choice. Right around the time we stayed there in the summer, they changed their name to Strawberry Hotels, where they brand themselves as Choice Hotels, even though it's a completely separate ownership group. And as a part of that, they'll be called like Clarion or Choice or something like that. But don't think like the American Choice, the American Clarions, they're usually a lot nicer. I only stayed at one Choice hotel in Scandinavia. It was the Hotel Odin, which is a Clarion in Gothenburg, Sweden. The hard product was fine, but not exceptional. It was a small room. Think of a fairly cramped European room. It had a king-size bed for my wife and I, although it was one of those European style where they split it down the middle and you each have your own duvet cover. And then like Murphy beds that pulled out of the wall that are the size of bunk beds for my kids. Not even a twin, like the narrow twin you get like when you go to summer camp. The boys did not like the beds, but it was only 3 nights. But the soft product was amazing. The staff was super helpful. They would do anything you asked them to do. They accommodated our room request. Plus, they serve free breakfast every day and free supper every day. It's in a big communal dining room. And this isn't like cinnamon toast crunch and some rubbery sausages. This is like a full-blown buffet, like what you'd get at Old Country Buffet or like Texas Roadhouse or something like that. Lots of choices. And they give a free evening meal, which is called a light evening meal, but there's nothing light about it. I mean, it was a full-blown meal. So go back and watch that video. I calculated I was getting 2 cents per point, not including saving on taxes and the meal. If you count the tax savings and the evening meal, I was getting 4 cents per point. And given I transferred it from Citi to Choice at a 1-to-2 ratio, I was getting 8 cents per point on the Citi side of things. So that's why people rave about it, say it's such an epic value, is just because you get free stuff and the built-in cents per point is really good. A lot better than America. I don't know why. Maybe they just never updated their award chart, but that's how it is. Hey, look, Sam K dropped 2 pounds on me towards the coffee fund or on the way to get a new laptop. Thank you, Sam. I really appreciate that. Icarus asks what kind of internet connection I have. I have a company called, I don't remember the name of the company. It's new. It's only been here in Central Iowa for a year, and it's a fiber optic company. Oh, it's on the router, MetroNet. So it's supposed to go up to 1 million bits per second or megabytes per second or whatever they call it. When I run a speed test, it's usually between 350 and half a million megabytes. So it's not the internet because I work from home 3 or 4 days a week. My work computer works fine and it just rips stuff out. It has something to do with the computer itself. Chad's Money Minute has showed up. Good morning, Chad. How you doing? Are you still in Omaha? I know it's like 2.5 hours away, but if you want to drive over to Des Moines and hang out, let me know. Okay. TH also guessed the location of the picture. He said Indian Rock House Cave, Fairfield Bay, Arkansas. And he is exactly right. So in 2020, our family took a social distancing vacation to Arkansas because Arkansas is one of the states that had the fewest COVID restrictions. You didn't have to quarantine. Like I wanted to go to New Mexico, but literally at that time, New Mexico had a policy. If you came from out of state, you couldn't leave your hotel for the first 3 days. And I'm like, I'm not going to take a 10-day vacation and have to stay in my hotel for 3 days. So we went to a Wyndham resort. I didn't use Wyndham points because I wasn't into it at that time. I just bought hotels.com gift cards or something like that. And it was the kind where it's really more like a vacation rental. So it's a condominium. You walk directly outside. There's an outdoor pool. You don't have to talk to people. And this cave was nearby. So it's like there's a parking lot up above it. You take some steps, and there's trees growing out the top of the cave. You literally wouldn't even know there's a cave there until there's like, unless you're looking for it. There's a sign that's like, come over here, walk down the stairs. Like, oh, hey, there's a cave. And it's next to a golf course. So that's why it has pretty good mowing out here. It's not super deep, but it's pretty interesting. And boys thought it was really fun. Chad said he had to go over to Kearney, Nebraska. And my understanding is it's pronounced Kearney, which is kind of like take I-80 and go a third of the way to Denver, and there's Kearney. Speaking of traveling, AP, who's one of the diehards, thank you, AP, asked this question. You travel to a lot of mid-sized cities for rip trips and generally drive through the American heartland. That's true. That's my travel style. What's the most unique city, town, or culture you've experienced in the U.S. and why? Why do you theorize that locale, or community is so unique? Um, I'm going to stop. A couple people said they're getting a lot of repeating on the video. I will still read the comments. You just won't be able to see them. So thank you, AP, for the question. So I love experiencing culture, but on a 4-day weekend, I want to do all the things. So I don't culture. Like I don't necessarily stay downtown and like just hang out in a coffee shop and listen to jazz bands. Now, when I go to New Orleans, I do want to do that. When I hang out with Chad and many other content creators and fans at the meetup in New Orleans, I want to walk into some dive and just listen to 3 guys or a quartet playing saxophone jazz for an hour because I've never done that. But I don't usually get to do that. So when I think of culture, I love meeting people, and sometimes it'll happen. Now, like in Wales in England, I got to do that, but that was a longer trip. In the American heartland and the East Coast, I usually base culture on like buildings and things that I see, what their monuments are, what their statues are, what their buildings are. I love interesting buildings and bridges and random monuments. Like, if I see a 2-story tall obelisk with a statue on top, I'll be like, what's that? It's like, here lies General Frank Smith, who was killed in some obscure Civil War battle you've never heard of. Like, awesome. Thank you for your service, Frank Smith. Assuming they're in the Union side. With that in mind, like in Missouri, I stopped at a Confederate cemetery. At the time, I was like, I didn't even know there were Confederate cemeteries, but like apparently there are, and they're maintained just like Union cemeteries are, national cemeteries. That was really interesting too. But to answer your question, the most unique, or like just the answer to your question, is Wheeling, West Virginia. So 2 falls ago, I think it was 2022 or maybe it was 21, I went to Wheeling, West Virginia. So if you're a geography nerd or even a slight geography nerd, West Virginia has a panhandle that sticks up. It's wedged between Ohio and Pennsylvania because Pennsylvania, in the colonial days said, well, our border will only go this many minutes of longitude to the west, and it ended up stopping like 15 miles from the Ohio River. So there's this little wedge of West Virginia that goes up between Ohio and Pennsylvania, and that's where Wheeling, West Virginia is. Wheeling, West Virginia was on the National Road, which was a road built back in the horse and buggy days to get you from the East Coast to the Ohio country. And they have a suspension bridge that still exists, although it's currently closed to cars, that was built before the Civil War. It was built in like 1853, and I really wanted to see that. The suspension bridge goes to an island that's in the Ohio River, which is still part of West Virginia, called Wheeling Island. And that is a unique place. I have a Driving with DUGROZ video if you want to see Wheeling Island. It's my most popular Driving with DUGROZ video. And most of the comments will say something along these lines. I used to live in Wheeling. I visited Wheeling. It's a town that has seen glory days in the past, and sadly, it's gone really downhill. And what I saw was house after house after house, a lot of like row houses that are like 3 stories tall and super close together. And you would see like one that was in really great shape, and then like 2 that were just completely dilapidated. And that town is your traditional Rust Belt, poverty-stricken town where back in the 1920s, 30s, 40s, 50s, they had factories and industry, and all those jobs have gone overseas. And it's just sad, but it's still a cool town. And like it's an island, there's a 150-year-old suspension bridge, there's like parks, there's businesses, there's people just walking around and riding bicycles and stuff. So that would be my vote. Wheeling, West Virginia is the most unique city I've been to. Population probably 35, 40,000. Hey, TH threw me a super chat also. So I will give him a heart. I will go back and give Sam a heart. Thank you to both you fellas for giving me that. $3 from TH. Thanks for answering my question. Excellent work. Thank you, guys. That means so much to me. I'm not a big time creator, so every $2 or $3 just really lifts my spirits and helps me to keep going. Thank you so much. Cesar Joel, who is my biggest fan, is in the house, at least was, says, what's your favorite hotel program and why? Keep up the great work, Doug. My favorite hotel program right now is Hilton. And it's not just because I'm copying you. It's because I had a really good Hilton stay in London last summer. I have a great Hilton stay lined up at the Embassy Suites in Washington, D.C. this coming summer. I was able to take advantage of 5th night free. I'm able to get consistent, good value transferring Amex points to Hilton only when there's a transfer bonus. 30% or more. So it's transferring 1 to 2.6. Some people will point out like, well, that's only about 30% more than what you can buy points for. And that's true, but A, there's a limit on how many points you can buy. B, it's the hotel I want, in the place I want, at the time I want. C, they have guaranteed connecting rooms. And when you have a family, that's a big deal. I've mentioned before, my son has type 1 diabetes, and it's really well controlled, but he does have a blood sugar alarm. It's hooked up to our phones that sometimes goes off in the middle of the night. And if there were to be an emergency, we need to be able to attend to it right away. So the guaranteed connecting room is just a really big peace of mind. At the IHG we're staying at, they don't have guaranteed connecting rooms, so we're going to email the property about 2 weeks before our stay and ask for one. And they'll probably honor it, but there's always that chance they won't. And if they don't, what that means is I have to sleep in one room with one of my boys, and my wife has to sleep in another room with one of my boys, just in case there were to be an emergency. Which, you know, who wants to sleep in a king-size bed with your 15-year-old smelly teenage boy when you could sleep with your lovely wife? So the guaranteed connecting rooms are awesome. And I have the Surpass card, and it fits my style well, and that's why I like Hilton's. A close second is IHG, and so 1 is Hilton, 2A is IHG, 2B tentatively is Choice, but I need to actually experience some more Choice hotels first. Thanks, Cesar. He says, Hilton for the stay. Thanks for answering my question. Thanks for asking every single week, Cesar. I appreciate your undying support. Anthony Venture a fellow content creator who will have a live stream later today with Constantino, I believe, says, I'm not sure where that is, talking about the picture of the cave. Just don't go cave diving, please. It's much too scary. You don't have to worry about me, Anthony. Do I look like a guy who's going to go cave diving? Didn't think so. All right. Anthony asks, if you could drive any car in the world for your drive and talk videos, what would that car be? Oh, Anthony, do you want me to give the realistic answer or do you want me to give the like hypothetical fun answer? How about I do both? All right. So, hypothetical fun answer first. I want to drive one of those Tesla super trucks or whatever they're called that look like a silver trapezoid. I don't even know. Are they selling to the general public yet? Or are they still in like beta mode? But I want to get one of those and drive it around. I've never driven a Tesla. I've actually never driven an all-electric vehicle, so just want to try it out. So that's the hypothetical aspirational answer. Cybertruck. Thank you, TH. I want to drive a Tesla Cybertruck and go off-roading with it. But my realistic answer is, so when I rent cars, because usually I'll fly into a town, rent a car, return it 3 or 4 days later, I'm putting it on a credit card. And most credit cards will say something like the primary rental insurance only covers non-luxury vehicles. So usually if like the MSRP of the vehicle is more than $75,000, it doesn't cover it, or it'll cover it only up to that threshold. And I'm too cheap to go out of the way to buy the insurance. I want my free insurance, doggone it. So I'm totally fine with getting like a Kia Soul. I actually own a Kia Soul, or like a Toyota Camry, or a Dodge Charger, or something like that. So like, let's see, what would be like a really nice vehicle that would get good mileage, like full size. I don't even know enough about cars to know like what that would be. I actually don't. If I'm traveling by myself, I don't like it when they give me a free upgrade to a gigantic SUV. I got that in Las Vegas for the creator meetup last year, and it was fine, but it was like a GMC 4x4 Sierra quad cab, or I don't even know what the correct terminology is, but it was like this gigantic SUV with 3 rows driving around downtown Las Vegas as a free upgrade. I'm like, okay, that's fine, but it got bad gas mileage and stuff. So maybe if they had like a moderately nice car, like what's kind of like your entry level Lexus or like a Buick of some kind, that sounds good to me. Thank you for asking, Anthony. Let's see. Sam says, is 2B or not 2B? That's the question. Oh, I get it, because I said my 2B hotel program. John says, I'm working on the Surpass card 170K sub right now. Yeah, so I'd actually listed that on my things to talk about if time permits. So I have the Amex Business Gold, and I just completed the spend requirements on that like 4 days ago. Cover the code. There she is. I think that's actually a nice looking card. And I got DUGROZ reports on there, which makes me stuff. So the 15,000 spend requirement on that, 10,000 spend requirement on that. And that was a targeted offer for 150K. So hasn't posted, but next statement close date, I should be getting 150,000 Amex points. That excites me a lot. Even if I cash that out, because I have the business checking, so I could cash out, at least in theory. I still have the business platinum for 20 more days. That's $1,500. Take out I got it back when the annual fee was still $250. That's $1,250 cold hard cash at a bare minimum. And if I use it for transferable partners, it'll be more than that. Let's see. Capital One. So I'm done with the community tab. Just other data points or things to mention that I wrote down. So my wife flew to Arizona last week when we were at the Super Bowl party in the hotel. And this was to go help out a family member who had surgery recently, just like a 5-day trip. It wasn't like a points and miles thing. I booked it with my altitude reserve and got 3x points because it was travel. Um, on one on the trip there, on the trip back, I booked it through the Capital One portal and got 5x Capital One points. Um, so my decision I'm trying to make is, because the family member reimbursed us for the flights, I could go into the Capital One travel eraser and erase that charge at 1 cent per point. And since I've already been reimbursed for that, I would be functionally cashing out my Capital One points at a penny a point. So I'm trying to decide if I should do that. What do you guys think? Should I cash out my Capital One points for a penny a point? I've got somewhere around 80,000, 180,000 Capital One points right now. Looking at cashing out 30,000, which would be $300. Because I had to pay the annual fee for my business gold, my altitude reserve annual fee hit. I got to pay the annual fee for that. Although I get credits back. So what I'll do is I'll pay it, then I'll reimburse my family budget if we eat out as a family or something that would eat out normally anyway. Those of you who don't know, I have a hard and fast rule that I have to pay for all of my annual fees and travel out of travel savings or cash back bonuses or those kind of things. And because I've had to pay for the travel when we went to Central Wisconsin last October, had to pay for some of my travels in Chicago earlier this year. I had to pay a couple other annual fees. The Capital One annual fees are going to be coming up. My cash balance is getting low. It's down to like $400, so I need to build that back up. So would you cash out 30,000 points to get $300 in Capital One? I think I will. Do you want more personal content from me? I'm hesitant to, because all the experts say you're not really supposed to do that on YouTube, mixing content. But like last week, somebody asked me like what my personal hobbies are. And then like I mentioned my record collecting that I just recently got into. There's a Tom Jones record just over my shoulder there. I mentioned my other channel, DUGROZ Nostalgia, which one person subscribed to. So thank you. You want me to just stick with the points, miles, cashback, travel, epic value stuff, or do you want any sort of personal, just knowing more about me type content? Or do you think it's good to do, but relegate it to the other channel? I wanted to mention to all of you how much I enjoy doing live streams. I really do. Um, in terms of like how live streams help out my channel, I don't really get a huge number of views, and I get very few views from new people on the live streams. But those who do watch tend to watch for a really long period of time. So it really helps with my average view time. Plus, it's the only place where I think I got one super thanks from a non-live video. The only other time people give me money is in live streams, which I really appreciate. I'm not trying to, say I'm a big charity case or something, but I mean, it makes sense financially. So I really enjoy doing these live streams. It's something I look forward to. It's actually the YouTube content that I look forward to the most because I don't have to edit it. I still have to make regular old videos with edits and stuff to bring people in. So let me know if you really like the live streams also and how you think I should mix that in. If I should just keep doing one a week, the Saturday morning live. If you have a suggestion for a name of my live stream, it's just DUGROZ Reports Live right now. Let me know if something creative like the DR show, or I don't know. That's a dumb name. Thank you for everyone. I really do enjoy it a lot. Should I do more YouTube shorts? Sometimes YouTube shorts I do get a lot of views. So like for me, an average video might get 400 to 500 views. But like I did one at Wells Fargo, just kind of joking around. Like they have a place with 7 digits where you could write a check for $1 million to pay your Wells Fargo card. And I got like 7,000 views, but the video made like 8 cents in revenue. So I'm not making money from it. It's just for fun. But I have had a handful of subscribers come in from shorts. So the only reason I do shorts is to bring new people into the channel. But if you want me to do more shorts because you enjoy them, like when I went to England last summer, I tried to do a few shorts from there and people seemed to like those, just a little like, hey, I'm across the river from Parliament. I'm across the river from a sheep farm, whatever, that kind of thing. And I am buying like a tripod selfie stick, so I should be able to do more on the road when I go to Virginia and Monticello and a waterfall in West Virginia next spring. Let's see what people are saying here. TH says, we want to know more about you as well as points and miles along the way. Hey, thank you. I just got to know how to balance it. Sam K says, privacy is meant to be kept private. I agree, and I will assume what you mean is don't mix personal with business. David Hamilton, a DUGROZ Diehard, says, did you get a retention offer for the Altitude Reserve? I haven't tried yet, David, but because my annual fee just posted like 3 days ago. When I do, I will let you know. Philmo says lives are always fun. Sam K thanked me for the live stream. John McKinstry is on board. Hi, John. How you doing? The live streams are good. I think it's good to sprinkle in some personal information in your videos. Maybe I should just do like some teasers, like little things that I'm enjoying. Maybe in the live streams I can do like one record that I bought or something. And then just say, if you want more info, go to the other channel. John says, I think the people in the game will watch the lives throughout. So many people have short attention spans these days though. Yeah, I agree with that. And I just don't understand like any video I make, whether it's a short or long form video, like a third of the people click away within the first 15 seconds. And I'm like, what were you expecting? You know, like if I make a video called all about the Chase Inc. Business Unlimited card, what do you think I'm going to talk about? You know, it's like, all right, I'm going to watch this video about the Chase Inc. Unlimited. Hi, everybody. DUGROZ here. Today, we're going to talk about the Chase Inc. Unlimited. Boring. You know, and immediately, who does that? I guess someone does. Like, why click on it at all if you're only going to watch the first 15 seconds? At least give it a chance. For Pete's sakes. Kids these days, I tell you. All right, so we're done then. If anybody has any last minute questions, let me know. John also says, agrees that people have short attention spans, myself included, sometimes. I will admit there's some videos that I swipe away pretty quickly, but I usually give them at least like 45 seconds. I'm trying to make my intros more interesting and say like, you know, the DUGROZ with DUGROZ reports about 30 seconds into the video, trying to hook people a little more. We'll see. Martin H says, well, I just jumped on. I'll rewatch the live. Thanks, Martin. Hope you're doing well today. All right, so we'll end with the poll results for the day. What additional content would you like to see me focus on over the next few months? Reviewing mattresses in hotels was not very popular at only 7%. Point valuation deep dives was 32%, and the winner was hotel cards plus a cashback strategy at 61%. So I'm going to end the poll now. So it sounds like that video that I did about like a hotel card plus cashback strategy, one of my frugal points videos, was the kind of thing you want me to expand on. That was just like a spewing my stream of thoughts. So I will tentatively plan on fleshing out that strategy as the year goes on. Philmo says, have a great day. I'll see you on some of the other lives. If you've not yet done so, please click the like button. I would really appreciate that. Helps the algorithm promote my video. And as always, may your spending be frugal and may your points be plenteous. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great day.